That's where our Veronica Makwadi is. This is an event that, of course, celebrates the visibility and the unity of the resilience of the LGBTQI community. Preparations underway there, Veronica. What are you sporting where you are?
Well, Thabo, I can tell you that it's a bright, bold, and clearly unapologetically day here in Sandton, where, of course, we are celebrating Johannesburg Pride, a day that will, of course, be celebrated by various communities here, all under the theme Proudly, Queerly, African. We are, of course, expecting the day to kick off. In fact, gates have already opened. People have started to stream in, and this is all in preparation for that walk, that parade, exactly at 2 o'clock, where the members of the Joburg Pride will march essentially through the Sandton precinct under this theme, a moment of solidarity, of unity, and we're really anticipating that. There is a bit of a slow build-up, but I can tell you that the numbers, when they pack up here, it is going to be absolutely full. It's going to be really just a day of celebration, of joy, and some of the most creative people within our communities. Already, I can tell you, Thabo, I've seen some of the outfits, and I keep saying that it's incredible in how many ways people can wear a rainbow. It's just such an incredible scene. But I'm joined now by Messi Mutaung, just to talk to us a little bit about the voices here today under the theme, and a very important theme, Proudly, Queerly, African. Talk to us about what that means, particularly in today's context.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. Today's theme it talks a lot about diversity. We are embracing diversity today, and we are celebrating ourselves. And with that theme, it means that we don't discriminate, we don't stigmatize, we accept, or we are all with everyone within the continent. We don't say because you are black or you are white or you are gray, but we are all celebrating this day with all the cultures, with everyone. That means that we are a rainbow nation that doesn't discriminate or stigmatize.
And this is coming at a particular time. I spoke to the founder of Joburg Pride earlier about this particular theme, being queer in Africa, and taking a look at this community through the African lens and the importance of that. It's also coming off the backdrop of a very heated conversation where it put in the discourse, where does our queer community and our traditions meet? Can they come together? Can they collide? Is it something separate?
You know, my view in that regard is that I feel like we need to find each other than fight each other. Hence, I'm saying we need to make sure that we take care of our speeches, because whatever you say is something that people are going to capitalize on. So what I'm saying is that let's all find each other, the traditional healers and everyone, and also the cultural people like Amakosi. They need to come back, sit with us, especially the civil society, and make sure that we find each other than to fight amongst ourselves.
All right. Of course, I've been speaking to a lot of people here, shared a dance or two, had a good time. And while there is so much joy here, there is so much acceptance, the reality is many of the people I've spoken to still say there is a lot that needs to be done. A lot of education that is lacking, a lot of stigma still, a lot of discrimination. How do we take South Africa forward? Already the fact that we are positioned really as a global example, but how do we move forward?
Thanks for bringing that up. You know, there's a lot that needs to happen. Number one, we don't have a safe space as the LGBTQI people or as the queer people. So we need, hence I've indicated earlier that we need each other. We've got a lot of stigma and discrimination amongst us, especially the transgenders. They're not accepted. They don't know where do they belong. So, but in that regard, we need to come back together and find each other and ensure that we have a safe space.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Messi. They're speaking to us from a civil society perspective about the cause of the LGBT community. Thabo, I'm just going to ask my camera operator to unlock the camera now, because our next guest is part of the many voices, in fact. And while today is a day of celebration, there are several organizations, political parties and groupings that have somewhat cast a shadow over this day, believing that Pride is no longer what it is meant to be. And I'm going to have to actually go outside of the gate to speak to our next guest, because they have essentially boycotted today's events, speaking about the fact that there is an element of Pride that has somewhat become an opportunity essentially for corporate companies to use the term rainbow washing, if you will, looking at the fact that there is no longer that element of the march in 1990, where we saw those very few thousand people coming together to bring a voice to this issue, saying that this has now been forgotten, that the issues and what is at the core of Pride is somewhat missing in gatherings like this. And I'm joined by Matthew Cook. Thank you so much, Matthew. We had to, of course, leave the venue because your party is amongst the organizations that have clearly made it known that they will not be taking part in Joburg Pride today. Tell us why.
That's right. First of all, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak with you today. I think today, obviously, there's a lot of celebration happening, but there's also a lot of sadness happening with a lot of people who are wanting to support Pride, but have seen how Pride has essentially lost its way, has lost its purpose, and has taken a tendency to sell out to corporates. We're seeing a lot of rainbow washing in organizations, and this has led to a lot. And when I say a lot, we've seen over the past couple of days a lot of different organizations calling to protest Pride, to boycott Pride. We haven't really called on everybody, we've just made our stance clear. At this stage, we believe that Pride needs to go back to the drawing board. How can an event which is meant to be about inclusivity and driving inclusivity be one of the most dividing things that has happened this year for the queer community? This event is about bringing people together, it's about education, it's about giving that young LGBTQIA+ child an opportunity to come and see inclusion, to come and see how people support each other. Yet the last couple of days have just been organization after organization after organization, after announcement, after defensive retaliation. And we've seen a lot of that in the last couple of days. We've seen a lot of behavior from organizations on both sides where we're saying to them, we need adults in the room. We need adults to be able to take a stand back and say, what is the objective of Pride? What does this event seek to achieve? Because essentially, Pride has become a corporate institution. It's a private company. The company that runs Pride is a private company. It's got its own directors, and there's no accountability. It gets lots of money in from various corporate sponsors. It can charge a ticket price. It can run events. But at the end of the day, there's no accountability back to the communities and to the people who serve it. And a lot of people who are arriving here today see this as a community event. They don't see it as a private event run by a private company. And we're saying that things need to be more transparent, because if you look at it, even over the last couple of days when it came to sponsorship and who did sponsor, and there's receipts from certain people saying, but here are receipts of people that said that they were sponsors, now you're saying they're not sponsors. So we're saying this is a perfect opportunity for this company, this organization, to go back and say, what are our objectives? What is the objectives of Pride? And how are we going to unify people and bring them back together to get back to the root cause of what Pride should be in South Africa?
Certainly, Matthew, and you bring up a term that we've also been seeing in the spaces of social media as this call to boycott Pride has been intensifying over the past few days. It's rainbow washing. Talk to us about what that actually looks like. And speaking to the, to the event today, as you said it, a lot of corporate companies, we are in the richest square mile of Africa, and I can tell you, I've seen companies, filling up, they have marquees here as well. Talk to us about the importance of not just being here as a corporate, but actually giving back to that community.
100%. I mean, as you say, there's a lot of companies here. I haven't had the opportunity to go in. The reports I've heard, there's a lot of companies, there's a lot of money being spent. It's a photo opportunity, it's an Instagram moment. But where is the education? Where is the advocacy? Where is the meaning of Pride? Where is the fighting and the protest of the rights? So when we talk about rainbow washing and things like that, this isn't a new term. This is something that's happened all over the world for many years, where corporate companies use Pride Month as an opportunity to change their profile picture, to put a rainbow flag and say, look, we've done our bit. In this instance, they pay a lot of money to be here, and to the community thinks they're an ally. But what are they doing behind closed doors for the rest of the year? How are they treating gender-based violence or trans rights or LGBTQIA rights within their workplace on a day-to-day basis? This is not the place to just come and parade in one place to say, yes, we're a company that embraces this, but in the back end, every other day, 364 days of the year, your company is not necessarily living by that philosophy or by the kind of values which are meant to be put out here. So.
Thank you so much. There you have it. Matthew Cook from Good Party speaking to the other side of Joburg Pride. The reality of, while this is meant to be that type of a moment to bring communities together, inclusivity, and of course to unify voices, to show the resilience of the queer community, there is still that angle to say how much of this, as you've heard from Matthew, is a photo opportunity, how much real work is being done to reach those in the queer community. Well, of course, we'll keep monitoring the growing numbers here and the progress, but still speaking to those issues that have been highlighted by various members of the community and those that are present. Back to you.